Hello everyone, this is Phil from underKG.com, and today we got Xperia Z2 tablet, which is a successor of the Xperia Tablet Z, which we have right here. It almost looks identical except for the fact that while they have a same 10.1 inch of a 1920 by 1200 pixels, the resolution themselves are the same, but Z2 tablet of course has better display to the viewing angle, and the color balance are a lot more closer to the white that we think are the white. And the biggest difference, of course, is that the Z2 tablet has got 0.5 millimeters thinner and 70 grams lighter, which makes the light tablet a lot more lighter, which is even lighter than the iPad Air. And there's a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which used to be covered behind this waterproof cover that we didn't like so much, thinking that we plug in the headphones a lot on tablets. Anyways, aside from that, let's put the old Tablet Z away and focus on the Z2 tablet. The front has a Sony logo, front-facing camera, 10.1 inch of a 1920 by 1200 pixels of display. Keys are built in as the soft key, and on the right is nothing but a clean slate. On the top is a infrared port with a microphone, and of course the micro SD card slot over here. Expandable up to 64 gigabytes. Now that there's 128 gigabytes, I think it's expandable up to 128 gigabytes. And we don't have the LT version yet. When the LT version does come, the micro SIM card slot, SIM card is gonna go in there, and the micro USB port lies right here. And all the covers / caps, of course, has the waterproof sealing on the caps, and opening it and closing it back and forth does undermine the waterproof functionality of the device, so make sure to use a dock with the docking port if you don't want to send this guy to the service every year. Of course, dock is sold separately. On the left is a power key with the volume rocker, an Xperia identity, and that's pretty much it. On the back is a Sony logo with the Xperia logo, and to the camera right here, and the NFC lies down there. Alrighty, the display itself has gotten a lot better. The viewing angle is pretty decent, and it's got a lot brighter, and it's one of the best displays I've ever seen on the 10.1 inch tablet. That being said, the software itself is nowhere to disappoint. Sony has been updating their devices a lot faster than they used to nowadays. The device comes with the Android 4.4.2, that's KitKat, initially shipped version, and the interface themselves are a lot more cleaner than it used to be. A lot more cleaner and a lot more fancier. The stock launcher is smooth and it's very easy to use, except for the fact that although Sony's launcher is one of the best with the stock launcher, I'm not exactly a big fan of it, so we'll switch slightly to the Nova launcher. Talking about finishing up the part with the display, although the display itself is really nice, there is a that's a weird bug. The display itself is real nice, but there is a little weird line going on the screen. I'm not really sure if you will notice that diagonal line going across the display. The camera is not exactly catching it very well, but there has been this diagonal line on the Tablet Z, and the Z2 tablet still has it. I don't know where it comes from, but every Z2 tablet has it, and it sometimes annoys me. Looking at it in the landscape doesn't really matter, but portraitly reading something does make me notice that weird diagonal line. So that's just a little glitch about the gray screen. Before we head up to the performances, we also know that the Z2 tablet, like its predecessor, is waterproof. So let's just put a little bit of water just to prove the fact that this is waterproof. Of course, the non-waterproof devices are going to last about this amount of water anyway, but you know, just to make things a bit clear. There we have it, and hold on, let me wipe up the water so the touchscreen works. There we go. Whoa. And the speaker-wise, it has it has a stereo speaker, and we know that Sony sound effects are pretty nice, but I always happen to wonder why their speakers aren't exactly so good. Going to the sound effects, we do have the usual sound enhancements with the Sony's clear bass, but those X Loud and the S4 front surround and those kind of speaker related sound qualities aren't exactly so great. While the speakers themselves are not bad, they're not as good as they're advertised. So that's that. But for the people who really want to enjoy the sound quality with the Z2 tablet, you can plug in the headphones, or because the sound quality with the headphones is pretty nice, or you can connect in the USB DAC. Sony sells it like this bulky USB DAC, so you can connect that for a higher quality audio coming out of your tablet if you want to carry that around. And other than that, the performance-wise, we have a Snapdragon 801 in the house, clocked at 2.27 gigahertz. That's a quad-core processor for you guys with Adreno 330 GPU, and it's got a 3 gigabytes of RAM compared to the 2 gigs of the predecessor. And it's got a 32 gigabytes of storage, of course, expandable through that microSD card slot we have pointed out on the beginning. Alrighty, the battery-wise, it's got a 6,000 milliamps of the battery, but we'll get back to that later. Alright, the performance-wise, it's really good, but what it kind of annoys me is the size, the compatibility of the apps. It's not that it's got some apps not running on the screen or anything, but it's just that when Android tablet reaches 10 inches, its DPIs and the screen resolution and everything kind of makes me think that maybe they should reconsider the size of the Android tablets. Of course, the diversity is an important part of the Android ecosystem, but usually most of the apps are designed for the phones, and when they're 7 to 9 inches of the tablet, they kind of adapt to it really well. But when it exceeds the 10 inches, they kind of have like weird white spaces, and you kind of get the feeling that the apps aren't exactly designed for the apps. And also the screen ratio itself is usually 16 to 9 or 16 to 10. We know that the tablets are not intended for contents making, but the consuming contents. But the only time that 16 to 9 or the 16 to 10 screen ratio is useful is when you watch movies. And that certainly isn't everything that what we do with the thingy. Alrighty. The Xperia Z2 tablet does have some unique features. Starting with the Xperia connectivity, there's screen mirroring. Of course, the screen mirroring itself is not something special. We've seen that with the dongles on the TV screens and everything. But this guy is a little different because you can not only shoot your screen to the telly, but you can actually use the Tablet Z as a receiver for your screen mirroring. So turn it on the Xperia Z tablet, and you can cast your screen from your phone or other devices that supports the screen mirroring. So you can do that. There's a bit of a screen drop, frame drops, but this is actually comparatively really good on the mirroring. So you can do that. You can rotate your phone to make it full screen, and we can play a clip and see how it turns out. We can move to the more. Works like that, and you can make the screen smaller, so you can do other things on the screen while you're doing something else on your tablet too. That's one unique feature about the Z2 tablet, and the other thing is that there is a smart backlight control. The other devices have that. You can set up a time for your screen to go sleep, and they have been controlling that through the camera right here, that as long as you're staring on the camera, the screen is not going to turn off. They have gotten it to a one step further. I don't know how they did it, whether they expanded the touchscreen panel to the overall bezel, or there's a gyroscope sensor or whatever. I don't know how they did it, but as long as you're holding on the bezel of the Z2, it's not gonna turn off the screen. So that's other unique feature. And talking about the battery, although it's got a 6,000 milliamps of the battery, and the other websites and the reviewers have concluded that the Z2 tablet has a great battery life, ranging about like 12 hours for the web surfing, but we didn't exactly find it so. Surfing on the web for 2.5 hours drained about the 40% of the battery, which is not exactly great. So the battery life on the Z2 tablet is not bad, but it's not exactly impressive. So that being said, I like almost everything about the Z2 tablet. I like it how thin it is. I like how light it is. I like its display quality and everything. But there is a thing. First of all, screen ratio. The Z2 tablet it's not its fault, but the 16:9 or 16:10 isn't exactly the best ratio on the tablet. And secondly is that I would really love it if they keep up everything of the Z2 tablet and just like shrink the size into 8 or 9 inches. That would be perfect. To 4:3 of a screen ratio. That would be amazing. So that being said, Z2 tablet isn't perfect, but it is the best tablet on the 10-inch market of the Android tablet. Alrighty, that's Sony Z2 tablet, and don't forget to tap on there to subscribe to our channel, and we'll get back with the better reviews and the better devices coming soon. Thank you always for watching, and we'll see you guys in the follow-up reviews. Thank you always for watching. Bye.